Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. That is, with the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. We openly bear witness that none is worthy of worship or devotion but Almighty God, Almighty Allah, as we say in Al-Islam, the name Allah, that is thousands of years old, as archaeologists and others who study the sciences of various environments, various countries, and looking at history, they have found that this name Allah, the name Allah, has been found on relics thousands, hundreds of thousands of years old. So this is no new name. It is no new fancy that those who are Muslims came up with. And in fact, if you were abroad and you were to visit Christian nations, where you will find many Christians who spoke one of the Semitic languages, the Aramaic or the Arabic, Hebrew, you would find them utilizing the name Allah. So it's no new name. So we say Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, beginning with the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. We openly bear witness that none is worthy of worship or devotion but Almighty God. We welcome those of you who will be viewing Islamic perspective and called to freedom, as our programs are internationally as well as locally and nationally. And every Sunday we meet here at Masjid El-Taqwa from 12:30 until, and also on Fridays, our most holy day, if you will. It is known as the Jummah prayer, and it is observed throughout the world by Muslims, and all are invited. Just as all are invited to the reading of our book, I mean humanity, not our book, the Muslims, but our book, a book that has been revealed to humanity through Muhammad ibn Abdullah, Muhammad the son of Abdullah, not one who was divine, not one who was divine, but he was a human being just like we are. So we are very grateful to God that he has not forgotten us, that he has allowed us an opportunity to learn and to be knowledgeable and to utilize that which is best for us. And what is best for man in terms of the utilization of man coming into light, coming into understanding, coming into an illumination. It is the intelligence. Certainly the heart is very beneficial, and there are those of you who have studied and who are studying Islam. You know that it is said that Muhammad ibn Abdullah received the message on his heart because of the purity of his heart, his desire to do what was right, and responding to his nature, responding to his original pattern, not having any knowledge of Scripture whatsoever before he began to receive the Quran. Let us read a short chapter from the Quran, as we will elaborate on various ayahs and verses from the Quran in hopes of tying in these passages to those passages of Scripture that came before the coming of the Quran. From the surah called Falaq, on the dawn. It has dawned on me. That's a statement that is used by humanity, and especially in the past. It has dawned on me. It has dawned on me. What is being said? Let us read the short verse. We would also read it in the Arabic. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. And it says, with the name of God, most gracious, most merciful, say I seek refuge with the Lord of the dawn, from the mischief of created things, from the mischief of darkness as it overspread, God seeking, from the mischief of darkness as it overspread, from the mischief of darkness as it overspreads, from the mischief of those who practice the secret arts, and from the mischief of the envious one as he practiced envy. This particular ayah, it begins in talking about an awakening, a rising up of light. It is addressing the intellect. It is addressing man becoming aware of what is meant for his salvation, what is meant for his guidance, and how man begin to focus upon science. Science. As you observe the morning sun, you see it gradually rises. It doesn't come up quickly like you turn on a light switch, but it is a gradual movement that takes place naturally in the universe. And it isn't so much so that the sun is actually rising. Science will tell you that the earth, it rotates. So as it turns, man begins, or the earth begins to receive this illumination, this light, this awakening man is able to see. As we change our pattern of thinking, as we come out from under the womb that bore us, as we learn to stand over the womb, as we learn to stand over the creation that Allah, that God has given us to manage, but more so to observe and to be thankful and obliging that we do have that which we can observe and that which is called matter. So man, and is rising up in the early morning, as he receives the sunshine, as we receive the light and the revelation, as Muhammad received the light and the revelation, as he was observing, as he pulled back and he began to ponder over the creation, over his family life, over his people, thinking, having a craving to see the betterment of his neighbor, of his family members, being tired of seeing people kill each other, neighborhood violence. It wasn't shooting, but people were killing each other. There was rape, there was murder, there was the misuse of little children, there was the killing of little baby girls because men wanted sons to help them with their flock, with their camels, or whatever they had. That was a prosperity. So God began to show man, and that he had abrogated, and that he had changed, and that he had taken some things away from those who had misused the revelation before. Man is constantly being punished for what his hands have brought. Man, I'm speaking of humanity, not just the male, but the female, male and female, humanity. Our movement, our quest should be that of higher understanding, that of a universal knowledge, a universal consciousness, being consciously aware of the needs of all of humanity. That doesn't make me too popular when I say all of humanity, because some are locked into ethnicity, some are locked into culture, some are locked into tradition. They are not able to move or to rise above their color, their skin tone, rather than to see how Almighty God has created us all from dust. We can speak of how great African Americans or Africans were, or the Egyptians were, we being descendants of slaves, and certainly that is true. That is true, and that's something that we don't want to forget. We never ever, it said, you never want to forget where you came from. You always want to remember where you came from. And sometimes people will say, but look at me now, baby. Look at me now. It's saying they have achieved something. They are achievers, and all of us are achievers in our life. And once blessings are bestowed upon us, we are to respect and to honor and to take care of the blessings that we have received. Even if things seem to be in an outrage all around us, think about your life and the blessings that you have received in your lifetime. See the good. Say, I seek refuge with the rare. It doesn't say Lord, but we know it's translated Lord. But it says school, meaning say, I seek refuge. Rabbi, this rab. Rab us from the very beginning. With us in the womb from the very beginning. Carry us along from the very beginning. Starts out with us as our mother is with us from the very beginning. How our mother has us within her body, the womb. And we say the womb of mind. Woman has been referred to as being the womb of mind. But when we think larger, on a scriptural basis, scriptural wise, this womb of mind, what is this womb of mind for man? It is the entire creation. It is the entire creation. And as we gain and as we ponder over creation, we are to give back. What we take in, we are to give back. We would have no knowledge, and certainly we know that inside of us, and we can't mention it enough, in terms of our capabilities, our potentials, our abilities, we can't mention that enough in terms of what we have been given in our original posture. In that originality, God has created those things that will give us insight. All the while we're moving along, we see the inquisitiveness of the little baby, looking, wanting to see everything in this environment, wanting to know what's going on, starting out maybe with the fingers, the hands, different colors, get the attraction of a little baby. And as we grow, in terms of being a people, and this is not just designated to those of African American descent, but in terms of addressing what has happened to our psyche, something has happened to pull us away from that which will give us insight into the knowledge of self. Me thinking of Mizrah, me thinking of Egypt, Upper and Lower Egypt, that's okay. Me thinking about the attachment that we had as a people who have inherited what our fathers have done before. And some of us don't know our fathers. Some of us don't know the leaders that came before us. And we look and we say our ancestral heritage. And we think about father, as I said a couple of weeks ago, that father in scriptural language, it represents the leadership. It represents wise and responsible and respectful leadership. That father represents a go-getter. That father represents a provider. But during the process of this providing, man has a mate. This mate that we have as humanity, the society, the world, the environment is our mate. The earth is a mate for us. We utilize the earth resources. We study these resources. As we study these resources, we benefit from the resources. But there are those who are full of greed. They want to hoard the resources, even in the form of mathematics, science, what have you. They want to hoard all of the benefits, and they want to keep some oppressed, where they can continue to use this some, continue to use the masses. And as I look at the nations of the earth in terms of what we look at now, and we see the oppression that take place, much of what you see, we see that the shaitan, this one, it says, we seek refuge from the darkness as it overspread. What darkness is this? It is ignorance. That's a darkness when you don't know. When we look at our children in the educational system, we want to make things available for them where they can grow, they can be productive, they can surpass anything that we might have done, we might have accomplished. And we are not to do this from a standpoint of jealousy, but we are to do it in the sense of having, thanks to Allah, that we are able to have children, grandchildren, neighbors, friends. We should want the best for everyone. It doesn't mean that we forget who we are. Don't misunderstand me when I say that we have to look at us coming from dust and not just coming from a people who were great kings and queens. Many people thrive on that, and that's okay. But that's what they did. That's what our ancestors did. What are we going to do? And in saying that, just saying that I'm black and proud, that's not enough. I should be proud. I shouldn't forget. Remember, I said that. We don't forget. But there's something bigger than where we came from. But if I think that all people were created from dust, if you buy that language, if you accept that language, and it's okay, it's a good concept, pardon me. There are many concepts that have been devised in order to help men and women in their thinking, in order to help humanity in their thinking. When we look and we see, where it says, we seek refuge from the shoddy evil, that's what it's talking about. From those who practice secret arts, those who practice the darkness, those who practice deception. Don't you know you can deceive yourself? We can fool ourselves. Sometimes we can think that we are more than who we are. And when we don't know who we are just in our original form, we're really in some trouble. But as we begin to surrender, as we begin to look at where we came from dust, as it said, from dust to industry. From dust to industry. This is talking about the progression of man in his beginning, where man begin to think. Not just thinking in his heart, that's okay. It says a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. That's okay, that's good. Because that gives you a certain facet, a particular facet of man's consciousness. As a man thinketh in his heart. And it says, as we mentioned Friday, and making connections, that unless we have faith, we cannot make it to the paradise. Unless we have faith. Unless we have faith. But it says, in order to have this faith, in order to make it to the paradise, we have to love each other. Now that's very difficult sometimes. Very, very difficult. I'm not just talking about us as an ethnic group, as African Americans, but you're talking about, in some instances, loving a people who are descendants of people who enslaved another people. And Scripture, before the Quran, it talks about a curse that's on a people that sold another people. Don't you know that we have been sold in many instances? But Almighty God delivered us in America. But it still seems as if everything is stacked against the so-called black man or the African American. But what happens when we turn to God? If you would focus just for a little while on people regardless of what their religion is, if you will focus on a good neighbor and watching the works of a good neighbor, forgetting what their religion is, but seeing people in your community feeding others, clothing others, doing what they can. I watched the news the other night. They were showing where this guy delivered pizzas and someone robbed him and killed him. Well, one of the local pizzas, in fact, right out on Hearn. They was taking a percentage, I think, with 25% of the week of that day in order to help that family who lost a loved one. That's showing something in terms of saying that all corporations are not bad. It's saying that there are those who are concerned about the upliftment and the care and the salvation of other people, regardless of their color. We have to, if we are saying, and we are bragging about what we have as believers, see how they say Muslim? I said as believers, then we have to lock on to the understanding that we have came from nothing into something. And the Quran, this final revelation, it speaks about this despicable fluid that comes from the loins of man. And eventually this fluid, with this sperm that's encased in this fluid, how this sperm is becoming an embryo, it becomes an embryo. And eventually it becomes an infant. And eventually it becomes a man or a woman. Look at this scientific information that was placed in this book over 1,400 years ago. Before we had microscopes. Here it is in a revelation. Here it is in a book that God has said he does not abrogate one form of knowledge, one form of revelation, unless he gives something better. If God takes something away from humanity, in that you have those who are striving, those who have good intentions, Allah never leaves us alone. Sometimes our defeat is only the beginning of our victory. Our defeat sometimes is only the beginning of our victory. When a child is trying to learn to walk, that child might fall 10, 15, 20, 100 times but it keeps trying to stand up till it gains confidence. When you gain confidence from the revelation, from this revelation that is meant to all people, you will begin to walk different. You will begin to talk different. The Quran says, from Surah 96, very important that we understand this first surah that came down to humanity. And it begins by asking or inviting man to read. It says, Iqra, Iqra, Bismi Rabbika alladhi khalaq. But the part that we want to focus on, here it is, God is saying, Alladhi alama bil kalam. He who taught the use of the pen. This is talking about education. This is talking about knowledge. Then it says, Allamal insana ma lam yalam. Taught man that which he knew not. Well, there's a whole lot that we don't know. But if I focus upon this first man, this first group of men, in their earlier history, in the history of our father Adam, he knew very little. But he had to observe those things that were around him. But then Allah goes on, because this is a story for us. These are levels. As you read different passages from the Quran, you're getting different levels of light. You're going from the first grade, second, third, fourth, high school, college. You're going through various degrees of attainment, of knowledge, of insight. And as you gain this knowledge, you're to learn how to apply it. Not just take it in, not just to store it, but you're to learn how to use it. But then Allah says, Kalla innal insana la yakra. Nay, but man does transgress all bounds. Now this is after God said he taught man that which he knew not. Now what is this an indication of also? That man becomes a little proud, a little arrogant. Say, nay, but men transgress all bounds. Then it says, Araha Hustakna. In that he looketh upon himself as being self-sufficient. We can gain so much and we feel so good about ourselves. I don't need you. I don't need nobody. And that's what happened to man sometimes in his pride. That's what happened when we see people rising up and they become big corporate people. It might seem to some who are viewing this that I'm down on corporation and big business. I'm not. But I'm saying there's enough in the world in terms of monetary, in terms of material, in terms of wealth, funding. Well, you don't have to see people starving, but that's greed. Don't you know it's a test for you to have? It's a test for you to have not. But what will you do while you don't have? Will you become jealous and envious and hard-hearted? This religion of Islam, it is to bring peace in your life, but it is to remind you, to remind us that we have to struggle. We have to continue to strive, and we have to look for ways as to how we can bring the masses into this understanding. But we are only responsible for the warning. But we must take heed of the warning ourselves. So we say, glory to God the Most High, high above all, exalted beyond measure. Anything that we can say, that we can come up with in order to praise God, it can never be enough in terms of saying, oh, thank you, God. Our prayer should be for knowledge. Our prayer should be for understanding. Because we have the tools that we need in order to make us successful. Taught man that which he knew not. Look how much we learn. And in my discussion with some of you throughout the week, we talk about how much we learn even from our grandchildren. Sometimes we can think, as they say, I'm grown, that we know it all. And we can listen to our little grandchildren, they can show us things. I know mine can still show me things about the computer and even about the telephone. So keep your minds and your hearts open that you become one who is a student, a thief in the night, Scripture says. That the Christ would come as a thief in the night. Why is this used? Why is this passage used? And remember, in the book that came before the Quran, that book, in the form that it is in now, and as I often say to you, because I mean it, I want you to understand. And remember, I just read where God says, nay, but man does transgress all bounds. Some become so greedy. They want to control the mind even that they have given you. And that's why they give you a mind. Something that's far-fetched to believe that a society, that a community will come together and seek a language, seek knowledge, seek wisdom, and misconstrue it so that they can stay in power for hundreds of years. Don't you know that those who practice the secret arts, those who practice secret language, secret codes, that they pass their codes and their language and their means? If you're not a part of their order, then you are no good to them. If you're not a part of their various organizational structures, you're no good to them. This world is continuously progressing. And if you are not being educated in the manner they want you to be educated, then you're lost. Unless you are saying, La ilaha illallah. Unless you're saying, there is no God but God. You might say, well, brother, what about La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah? Everyone is not Muslim. Everyone is not practicing the religion of Islam. But there are those who are sincere practitioners of Judaism and Christianity. We are to unite with all believers who are doing something to better conditions in the world. It should trouble you to look and see the conditions that are taking place throughout the world, whether it's Indonesia, whether it's China, whether it's India, whether it's Africa, and see people being killed, see women being misused and raped, little children being killed, old people being killed, soldiers being equipped with weaponry from Russia, from Great Britain, from America, giving a few leaders, a few males, giving them weaponry, giving them a little wealth, and they feel now that they have arrived, and they go in wanting leadership, wanting authority, and they just open and just kill people. And some do it in the name of Christianity. Many do it in the name of Islam. That's why you see so many people suffering. And I brought this up Friday and coming to a close very shortly about the Crusades. Do you notice there's not much being said or taught about the Crusades? Why? Unless it's by someone that is trying to sway you totally against Islam. Unless it's by someone trying to sway you totally against Christianity. The Crusades were not, I say this again, the Crusades were not about a religious faction, a religious war. The Crusades were about politicalness, politicians, those who wanted control, those who wanted authority, those who wanted land, to control land, those who wanted wealth. You had some who were involved in the Crusades. They were good people. One by the name of Saladin. You should take a history. He was a Muslim who was a doctor. And he was so sincere about establishing peace and establishing a religion, he sneaked into the camps of the enemy, which were the Christians, so-called Christians, not true Christians, but so-called Christians. Hear me out. He sneaked into the camp of one that was known as Richard the Lionheart. And Richard was sick. Saladin sneaked into his camp and helped heal him in hopes that this would bring about a different view, a different perception of Muslims, of Islam. This man was victorious in what he was doing. He was a great victor. He was a great leader. But he sneaked into the camp of the enemy to help the leader of the enemy, Richard the Lionheart. This is history. We don't read enough. And a long time ago, I remember how they used to use the word read. They would put R-E-A-D, to re-add, to go back and to rethink about what has been placed in your mind, to go back and take on new information that will clear your conscience, that will help you in your everyday dealing. How good have you been to yourself? Have you been respecting yourself? Have you been honoring yourself? I gave the title of the day, The Dignity of the Mind and the Integrity of the Soul. The dignity of the mind and the integrity of the soul. Does your mind warrant respect? Are you utilizing intelligence that you have, your mind says, oh, he has a good mind, she has a good mind. Oh, that child is brilliant, they have a good mind. And there are those who will respect their mind. The integrity of the soul. And we said that the soul, one of the definitions for soul, or integrity, pardon me, is that it means truthfulness, decency, moral ethics, a staunchness. Now how does that describe the soul, this integrity? It describes it in the sense that the soul, in a sense, is like an angel, in a sense. It says that the angels, they cannot disobey. How is it then that the soul can't disobey? In that the soul takes in our every action, our every deed is being recorded. It doesn't change. Whatever you do, your soul, our soul, it records it. You can't get away from it. What you did yesterday, the day before, and what you will do tomorrow, if Allah bless you to live tomorrow, your soul is recording it. In their hand. That was Elvis Cleveland, like I'm sure it was. He did this book called A Soul on Ice. A Soul on Ice. Now, if Allah is going to take our souls, it says, in this day of requital, this day, this Yom Medin, this day of observance, this day of judgment, then just taking the soul, it didn't say take the brain, it didn't say take the heart, it says the soul. And one hadith, which you might have heard many times, but think about this in the content and the manner in which I'm utilizing this now. It says that in the next life, that our souls will go before Allah. So even with the body will be questioned as to why did you do thus and so. And the body says, oh Allah, I was obeying my master. I was obeying the orders that were given to me. That's what the body does. If I command my hand to pick up these glasses, the body just responds. Then it gets down to a point and says, the body, the teeth, the tongue, the eyes, all that will be gone. The soul will just be there. You can envision it. And as the soul is questioned, they can't do anything but just to confess. Now, our prayer should be for the purification of our soul. Our prayer should be for the forgiveness and the mercy from Almighty Allah. So this thief in the night comes in the same manner as we are saying, where we pray to Allah for protection against the shouting, those who practice this darkness, this evil in the night. What does the night come in our mind where we don't understand something, where we're not giving proper information as to what is happening to our children in the schools, what is happening to many people who are employed in terms of the inequity, as to some people get more pay than the other. For the longest time, women have been fighting for equal pay, doing the same job. You think they gave the sisters, I should correct this, you think they gave the African American women, and I would call during those times Negroes of color, those people of African descent who helped to launch this spacecraft off of the earth and go into the heavens. You think they gave them more money because they came up with a mathematical formula, not only to get the space vehicle out of this planet Earth, but to go out and then to come back in? You think they got more money? No. You're just finding out about much of that in these years of the 2000s. We didn't even know that it was women of African descent that helped America get a spacecraft over the Earth. And even before then, if you begin to talk about atomic energy, so much that our people have done. Does that mean we're angry? No. But I'm saying many, because of your color, you think that you're inferior. Because of your gender, you think you're inferior. Allah has made us equal. But we all have to strive. And from the Quran it says, men can have nothing but what they strive for. What are we striving for? What is it that we want? Don't become despondent because it appears darkness in the clouds. There's thief in the night. That's the mindset, that's the corrupt mind that comes and tries to steal away your purity, your innocence, your wholeness. And God has made us whole. He has given us the Quran. He has given us each other. He has given us a community that strives for what is best for all of humanity. So see yourself in that light. as I often say, and I will continue to say, see yourself in the light in which Allah has created you, that you are now coming back into your form. And you're going to hear wars, as they say in the Old Scripture. Wars and rumors of wars. That's nothing new, because we are constantly having a jihad within ourselves. But we are victorious. Just by being a believer, you are already victorious. So don't be afraid. Fear only Allah. And thank you for viewing Islamic Perspective and Call to Freedom. Tune in every Sunday at 3 o'clock. And as we say, you are welcome out to our Jummah prayer service every Friday from 1:30 to 2:30. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you.